Hello everyone, Recapped Mystery here. Welcome back. Today, I'm going to explain a Japanese science fiction thriller film called AI, Amok. Watch out and take care. Kosuke Kiryu is a bright Japanese scientist who has created an advanced AI-dubbed hope for the future. For medical reasons, his main motivation for all of his efforts on the AI is his wife. Cancer therapy. If the government approves the technology for usage in the medical field, it will not only save his wife's life, but it will also be a watershed moment in human history. Kiryu is working at his lab at the start of the film when his brother-in-law, Satoru Nishimura, approaches him with paperwork. The administration, it turns out, has refused to, because there is no relevant jurisdiction. I support the use of I. In the scene that follows, Kiryu, his wife, and Satoru are on a beach with Kokoro, Kiryu's daughter. His wife is the last one standing, stage of cancer, and requires quick assistance from I. Despite the fact that Kiryu invented I, he and his wife refuses to use it illegally without permission. The family poses for a photo on the beach. A few days later, Kiryu's wife is dying, and she dies after stating that she hopes that I will one day bring joy to the lives of many people. If it had been approved sooner, Kiryu had the opportunity to save his wife. The medical eye system is approved by the government and divided among the people. Soon after, it is being employed in every industry, law, economics, entertainment, and, most significantly, medicine, because to advancements in technology, several diseases have been cured. Kiryu's accomplishment is only a few years old, celebrated everywhere. Satoru, his brother-in-law, takes over as president of Hope and oversees its operations. Kiryu no longer wishes to reside in Japan after honoring his wife's final desire. As a result, he and his daughter has relocated to Singapore. Hope's popularity skyrockets when she receives a personalized watch. It is introduced to take care of one's health. Now, people are not required to visit the doctor to be diagnosed with issues such as brain tumors and cancer. Despite the fact that the majority of the world celebrates, some people believe that the new invention will lead to an increase in unemployment to skyrocket. Many people oppose hope, but it has become vital to the life of most Japanese citizens. Kiryu and Kokoro live in a futuristic world in 2030. In Singapore, there is a beach home. Kokoro, on the other hand, misses her mother terribly and longs to return to Japan. One day, they receive a message from Satoru informing them that the president of Japan wishes to reward Kiryu for his achievements. Taking advantage of the situation, the father and daughter return to Japan, and are taken aback to see a number of protesters outside the Hope headquarters. They are warmly welcomed. Satoru and the entire company were applauded. They are then given a tour of the facility, of the structure. They are given access to the server room, which houses the heart of Hope. It is enormous. Hope's main motherboard is a machine called Hope. The location is extremely secure because of every Hope user's life is linked to the machine. Two hard drones recognize Kokoro, utilizing their face scanning feature. Following the tour, Kiryu is welcomed with a press conference, and for him to discuss his invention, protesters successfully break into the convention, and, while Kiryu is speaking, interrupt him. Kiryu then encounters a police officer. Sakuraba is a Japanese name. Sakuraba has been pleading with Satoru to allow the police agency to utilize Hope to hack people's personal belongings and solve crimes. He refused since it would be a violation of people's privacy. The request has been denied. Kiryu is followed on his way out by a journalist who is definitely against him. He hands Kiryu his business card, claiming he wants to interview him. When Kiryu and Kokoro are present, the little girl notices that she has misplaced her mother's loan photograph. She dashes inside, with the employees to seek for it as Kiryu and a girl drive to the conference where he is scheduled to speak. The president bestowed this honor. Kokoro and the others walk to the server room in search of the missing picture. Meanwhile, Hope begins to malfunction at a number of hospitals across Japan. Many patients die as a result of the lag, while medical personnel worry, not knowing what is causing it. The president is preparing for the program somewhere else, when she abruptly drops to the surface. It finds out that her heart pacer was also running on Hope and had ceased operating. She is hurried to the hospital, but it was in vain. The Hope-based automated driving system likewise fails, caused several accidents. As Hope ceases to function across the country, Satoru and the engineers, the headquarters, have been notified. They dash to the control room to determine what is wrong with the Kokoro was left alone in the server room by the program. As a result of the system breach, Kokoro is locked alone since the security lock has been activated. The news is broadcast on television, and Kiryu discovers the problems as well. When he calls his brother, he becomes even more concerned. Kokoro is alone in the server room. The temperature in the room will eventually go below zero. To allow the devices to cool, they'll have to get her out before she freezes to death. The developers. When Hope arrives at work, she discovers that there has been an unusual login to the protected server, which was said to be the source of the problems. They locate the hacker's location, and dispatch small insect-like filming devices to the location. Meanwhile, Kiryu is concerned, is snarled with traffic. He opens his luggage and discovers a tablet that is transmitting the virus to Hope. Just then, the cops track him down and arrest him for being the hacker. Just then, a car accident occurs nearby. This confuses the cops, allowing him to flee. All the while, the journalist, earlier, is photographing himself from a car behind him. As the suspect flees, Sakuraba and his squad are tasked with apprehending him. Taking advantage of the situation, Sakuraba employs the "I'm hoping the AI program will hunt for Kiryu without waiting for permission." Goto and Asano, two cops, are also brought on board to assist them. Goto is not pleased to see Sakuraba invading, to search for Kiryu in the public eye, using CCTV cameras as well as dashboard cameras. Sakuraba is able to locate Kiryu using cameras from people's cell phones. At one time, Kiryu becomes aware that he is being observed and enters the sewers. From there, he dials Satoshi's number, informs him that someone is attempting to frame him. The call is being tracked, so Sakuraba and the crew can proceed. I can hear them conversing. Kiryu admits that when he first designed Hope, he made it a point to program that it was effective in terms of human comfort and happiness. He feels that someone has recently. Hope was coded differently, which is why it has begun to work on its own without the assistance of humans. Command: citizens will be evaluated and terminated by the AI in the near future. Just then, we notice an infant in a pram being pushed by the AI. It computes the total medical bill that the infant may have to pay in its entire life, and believes it is unworthy of life. The pram then falls down the stairs, getting rid of the baby. A fresh program must be uploaded to the server to halt the mass slaughter. After the call, the soldiers enter the tunnel and discover Kiryu. He shatters his tablet. As a result, he will not be traced. After that, Sakuraba and Kiryu lose all location data, manages to flee once more. Goto and Asano exit Sakuraba's command center. Following the hearing, Kiryu talks to Satoshi, and Goto feels he is innocent. They both consider things from Kiryu's point of view, and conclude that he will most likely go to Hope's second data center in Sendai. Back at headquarters, everyone tries to get Kokoro out of the server room but is unsuccessful. She lies cold and terrified in front of the heart. To get to the Sendai data center, Kiryu sneaks aboard a ferry while disguised as a truck. Goto and Asano board the same ferry. Kiryu possessed. He took a tablet from someone and uses it to program. The cops investigate the signals, find out where he is. The ferry officials are notified and instructed to search everywhere for him. When they finally catch up with him, he makes a break for it and ends up on the top of the deck. Goto and Asano assure him they are there to help, but before he can respond, a helicopter sniper arrives, fires at him. Kiryu leaps into the ocean and vanishes to save his life. Sometime later, he opens his eyes to find himself on a boat in Sengai's harbor. He had been rescued by a local fisherman from drowning. He expresses gratitude to Hope for saving his wife's life and allowing him to live. Go, Kiryu. Meanwhile, numerous anti-Hope protests are taking place across the country. Kiryu possesses. The media has labeled him a terrorist. Kiryu visits an abandoned house in Sendai. Hope was born at the university where he studied. Satoshi quickly joins him. It turns out that when they last spoke on the phone, he employed a code phrase to summon him there. Goto also debunks the code phrase and drives his partner to university. Kiryu and Satoshi begin working on a program to stop Hope's annihilation. The machine examines every Japanese citizen who utilizes AI and prepares to terminate them based on their past. The mass murder will begin in exactly 6 hours. Engineers at the Hope headquarters are also involved, discover this and begin calling their relatives to request that they refrain from using their AI devices. Kiryu then discovers that no one hacked the program and that the virus was planted manually. In the middle, they discover something strange after reviewing the hard's data over the past few months. Activity. Kiryu, on the other hand, is taken aback after reviewing the CCTV tape. Satoshi turned out to be the culprit, who was responsible for the virus's distribution. Satoshi, on the other hand, denies the allegations, claiming that he was only carrying out his regular duties. Check and has no idea what went wrong. The soldiers arrive at the hideout just then, and shoot at Kiryu. Satoshi steps in front of the shooter to save him. With his final breath, he urges his brother-in-law to intervene and save the people. Kiryu escapes yet again while being pursued. The police followed. Goda and Asano are also following them in their car. During the chase, Kiryu's automobile slides off the road and collides with a tree several feet below. The cops look for him but they don't find his body in the wreckage. Sakuraba, a police officer, searches for Kiryu using AI and CCTVs, and locates him. But when the police arrive, the person turns out to be someone else. Kiryu is then found to have hacked the police's AI system, causing it to malfunction. While they search for him, Kiryu returns to the Hope headquarters and meets the head engineer who is willing to assist him in preventing the impending massacre. Sakuraba and his squad, on the other hand, make it to the headquarters and surround him. Kiryu informs the soldiers that the true perpetrator is Sakuraba. He then shows a video of Satoshi inserting the virus into the heart. It turns out, Sakuraba, who was standing outside the server room at the time, fooled him. Even though it has been proven that Sakuraba caused Hope to malfunction, the soldiers continue to follow his orders. Sakuraba goes on to suggest that Japan requires a formidable system to govern the world. With regard to something, he could have unlimited power, similar to AI. A flying object appears as he confesses to all of his sins. An insect-like device records and broadcasts their talk live to the entire world. Now, everyone is aware of the reality. Goda arrests and detains Sakuraba. As Kiryu rushes to mend, he hopes to save his daughter. With Kokoro's assistance, he programs the code and has the heart scan it. Hope has now remembered its origins and the reason for its existence. The server room door is opened, and the father and daughter are reunited. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. To assist the channel, turn on notification and leave a like. Thank you for taking the time to watch. See you again soon.